This was a nice chapter because not only do we get to see Usopp saving Sanji, but kind of seeing everybody else coming together and meeting back up for the final battle. One Piece, Chapter 285, Capriccio. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the awesome and adventurous tale of One Piece. Our last chapter, in my opinion, was probably one of the funnier ones that we've seen in this arc, if not the entire series, as there was a lot of action as well. We did wind up seeing at the end of it, it appeared that Nami and Usopp were able to get away. Sanji, of course, looks half dead and took the brunt of an Enel Thor. Lightning move from Enel, and we saw that, of course, the Arc Maxim had been sabotaged by Sanji as well. So the chapter, though, ended up with Usopp apparently climbing back aboard the ship, and then we heard Usopp hop. That's where the chapter left off. That's right where it picks up, and actually Usopp's like, I'm falling, and he just winds up head first with his ass and feet sticking out of the ground, and he springs off of his shoes in the clouds down below where Nami had landed. And then we also wind up seeing that he had actually grabbed Sanji and was able to get him off the ship. So that was the whole plan to begin with, and I wasn't sure if it was a rescue mission or what it was at the time, because of course we just saw the the grappling hook. I didn't know if he was just going back to be Sanji's brother, his comrade in arms type of thing, or what. But very cool stuff, because we wind up seeing that the Usopp hop thing was actually him using his, reminds me of Inspector Gadget cartoon that I watched back when I was a kid, but, he'd be, go, Gadget shoes, and he could hop and spring with these spring shoes. So anyway, he was able to grab Sanji and, of course, spring off of the ship and escape, at least temporarily, Enel's wrath. So we wind up getting a little bit of banter between them. And Nami's really just like, okay, she's figuring out where they are, where they gotta go, what they gotta do, and they're at the base of the giant jack is where they're at right now. So that's where they're at. They're trying to get everybody together. They're very close to it anyway. And she's like, hey, listen, grab Sanji, let's get on, and let's get moving over here. Then you go and you see a little bit, a page or two of Enel, and he winds up, he's trying to fix all the different sabotage, the things that Sanji sabotaged on the ship, different gears and mechanisms, and he's like, yeah, and he starts talking to himself, or kind of, monologuing out loud about how, well, you can't sink this ship. I went and I collected from, from my homeland of Bilka. He wound up collecting all of the, all of the jet dials that they had there. So basically this thing can go and hold itself up. It's kind of like his backup generator, you know what I mean? This thing can hold itself up for a period of time, for a while, until he gets everything fixed or does what he needs to do with it. So, and we know, of course, that he is heading towards wherever this gold bell is that he's actually been, that he's looking for, now that obviously him and Robin had talked 20 chapters ago or 15 chapters ago, and that kind of piqued his interest, and now that's his focus. That, and of course, destroying Skypiea, just to be an asshole, because that's what he does, because he thinks he's a god, and he's kind of a dick god. But anyway, not a rap god, a dick god. So, sorry, I just had to throw that in there because of the Eminem song, Rap God, and, well, anyway, you get the idea. So this chapter, though, really, in essence, it winds up kind of pulling some people back together. We then go and we do see Luffy and Aisa and Pierre. It's really kind of funny because Luffy is going and he's like, he's got the gold ball rolling, but of course he can't roll over and over it, so he's got to be to either side of it with his arm. So he's actually going and rolling with this ball, and the ball's here, and he's on the side of it, and he's rolling down one of these milky roads or what have you. And he's like, Aisa, which way? She's like, left now. And he's like, I can't make sharp turns with this thing, and just a little bit of comic relief there. But just one of those things, too, just to see Luffy. He's always so determined and always just so, I don't care that I have this impairment with me right now. I still got to get shit done. Got to save Nami. Got to kick Enel's ass. Bottom line, So, and he's got this giant ball of gold, obviously, on his arm. So you wind up seeing them... They go in and they actually wind up getting back to where the ruins of Shandora were down there, and where they had, of course, where of course Wiper and Zoro and Chopper and Robin had previously been left. Now we know from chapters previous to that Robin has been using her power, her hands to to get them up out of there, and so they're not there. And he's like, "What the hell? Where's Robin?" Blah blah, And he winds up going, though, and coming upon her very quickly, because as they start to go and get out of the ruins, of course, and they climb up to the main part, that I guess you would say where the giant jack is, not underneath anymore, they wind up running into running into Robin, you know. And so Luffy goes and basically just sticks her with Aisa and Pierre, and is just like, here, keep an eye on them. I got to go get this guy. You said he's up in the, you know, he's gonna ring the bell, or it's in the clock tower or something like that, the bell tower. And she goes, yeah, that's the only place it could be, and this and that. And I'm thinking in my mind, okay, there's a clock tower or a bell tower somewhere up here, and it's up in that higher part that Enel was living at for the whole time, but he doesn't know that the bell is up there. That kind of struck me as a bit funny, but hey, whatever. Maybe I missed something, but I'm kind of thinking like, okay, really, this thing was in your backyard the whole time and you didn't bother to even take a look? That's kind of what I'm getting from it, but that's where he's headed, obviously, and that's where Robin says she thinks the only place that it could be in Skypiea is up there. So Luffy goes and starts going around and around the giant jack while, you know, of course, spinning the ball and whatnot, and basically says, hey, take care of them, you know, I'll be back later. So then within a couple of minutes, or a couple of panels, I guess you would say, then all of a sudden, Nami and Sanji and Usopp show up. And I like how Robin refers to them. She only refers to Luffy by his name. Everybody else she refers to by their position. Swordsman, navigator, cook, long nose, she calls Usopp, you know. And I know some people have said in the comments that's because, you know, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but, you know, because she doesn't fully trust anybody but Luffy yet, maybe because he saved her life, even though she had done nothing to deserve that and what have you. I don't really know. It's just something that I had picked up on a while ago anyway. So that things kind of wrap up shortly after that, though. They kind of all get together and they find out that they just missed Luffy, and that Luffy actually was going to try to take out Enel and, of course, rescue Nami. And Nami goes and leaves everybody behind and is like, I'll go catch up to him on the waiver, and she goes and takes off. So everybody else is pretty much down and out or wounded or hurt, but at least they're back together again, right? We wind up seeing a little bit of the evacuation on Angel Island, and this is kind of how the chapter winds up wrapping up. We see some of that. We see, we see some of the Shandians, and they're looking for Aisa. They're hoping she's with one of the warriors, but they're trying to evacuate. We see the people on Angel Island. We even see Conus for a minute over there. But the people on Angel Island are going and trying to get together and everything else. There's still about half the people left. They go and wind up looking up in the sky, and Enel has everything, you know, he said prior to that, all the lightning clouds are coming out as they're supposed to and everything, and all of a sudden people start running, and there's just craziness, lightning coming down everywhere, and the bottom line is Enel started his death Pia, and he's got everybody running for their lives, and you just see this double-page spread at the end of the actual volume, and this double-page spread is quite disturbing, because you keep hoping that Luffy's going to jump in there, and he does this Mamaragan, is what they translated the name to. Mamaragan, whatever. I don't even care about exactly about the syllable pronunciations and everything. I just know that this is the crazy frickin', you know, beams of lightning coming down everywhere, and that's what's going to ultimately lead to the destruction of Skypiea. So that is how the chapter and the volume ends off. And I guess my chapter question for you, brothers and sisters, is now that we're kind of at the climax of Skypiea, what are your thoughts on just as far as how all the pairings have gone so far and how everybody's kind of come back together, who's down and out, who's not? You know, what did you think about Usopp rising to the occasion? Just some of your different thoughts so far as we're hitting the kind of crescendo of this arc. What are some of your different thoughts on the characters, the story, the development, you know, the backdrop, all those sort of things? Leave your answers in the comments down below, or don't. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, or don't. And subscribe if you haven't done so already, or not. And we look forward to catching you in the next One Nation.
Here is a nice picture I drew of old lover boy Sanji. Go over to Facebook and Instagram page for more.